How we doing today, guys? Sam here with this week's fishing report for you guys. A lot of stuff to talk about this week, but of course everybody's going to be most excited about the rockfish, so that's where we're going to start out. It's been really good, and there's a variety of tactics you can do to target these fish. If you're looking at, say, north of the bridge or right around where we're located, you're seeing a lot of people jigging this time of the year. Your typical spots that you're going to run into them. The bridge is always going to have those fish for you. I know people have been catching them there. Plenty of fish being caught earlier in the week over by the mouth of the Magothy over in Pedickery. That was a really good jig bite. Don't know if that's still going on, but that was a really good one. And I know some fish north of Swan Point even. So back at that Tolchester location where we saw fish last year this time. So all those areas are places you can check out. But if you don't want to jig, there's plenty of opportunities in other ways. If you want to troll for them, I know people have been doing really good on surgical tubes, a really popular summer bait, or your small tandems, those 4 to 6 inch baits opposed to your bigger baits. We're putting those away. So you can do that if you want. And I saw some fish being caught chumming as well at Pedickery Point. You're going to run into a lot of catfish, but if you're looking to do that, there's plenty of fish to be caught over there too. But pushing down the bay is where we've seen a little bit of the larger, I would say, normal fish that we have in the bay in the summer months, some pushing even 30 inches down off Chesapeake Beach, both open water and in the shallows. So pushing across to some of those islands in the shallows, like the mouth of the Choptank, some of those islands pushing down that way have been really productive for guys who want to cast small paddletails in there. If you're jigging in open water, just your typical 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce jigs, kind of depending on the tide and how deep you are. That's a good one. A good little tip for you to determine the weight of your jig is you should be able to stop your boat, and if you're in open water, this is just kind of a rule of thumb, you should be able to cast that jig out on a drift, and your jig should be able to hit bottom. You should be able to lift it. It should hit bottom again, but if you have to keep letting line out, you're probably going to need a little bit heavier jig. But if you cast out there and that jig just starts plumping the ground really hard, you probably can get away with a little bit lighter jig. So most of the fish we're running into right now, at least jigging wise, are going to be suspended fish. So you want to make sure that you have a jig that you can continue to work up through the water column, opposed to a jig that's just going to hit bottom right away. So if you're casting in those shallows, though, you might even run into some speckled trout, especially down on some of those islands, pushing down towards the Virginia line, Maryland line. Really big speckled trout have been caught. It's been a really good start to the year for those. So those are your two most popular things going on, but if you're trying to do some crabbing, I know that's been picking up in some of our rivers over here, the Severn, the South River, pushing across towards Eastern Bay area. Those have been somewhat productive for guys running trout lines now. We finally have that water temp out of a place where we can run a trout line. They're not falling off as much, so traps are still successful, but a trout line is starting to move into its more successful time of the year right now. So got a lot of that going on. If you push down towards the Ocean City area, I know some people have been doing pretty well in the back bays, whether that be Ocean City, Chincoteague, Wachapreague. Flounder fishing's been really good for them. Bluefish, there's a lot of small bluefish in the area, anywhere from those, I'd say 12 to 20 inch bluefish have been pretty productive around most of your inlet areas. So that's another little bit of thing you can do for some fun, but that's just about wraps it up this week. There's a lot going on though with the big rockfish. There are a million ways to catch them right now. So whatever you guys are looking to do, you can head on out there or come in and we can set you up. Thank you and have a good one.